So in his Lord Banquet speech in November 2012, Prime Minister David Cameron called on Britain to adopt, quote, a modern industrial strategy to help Britain compete and win in the fierce global race for high knowledge, high value added jobs and skills. And that's really reflective of what's happening in countries around the world. Some 36 nations now have articulated national innovation strategies. Many have national innovation foundations. And countries are doing this with the recognition that government does have an appropriate role to play in spurring the private sector to compete better on a global basis. You look at what countries like Finland, Sweden, and Germany are doing. They're calling out 7 or 8 key industries in which they want to be certain that they lead in global competitiveness, and then making sure they're putting in place the right tax, trade, talent, infrastructure, and investment policies to ensure that they lead in those sectors. The United States has been slow to catch up to this form of competition, and we actually argue that it was the failure of the US innovation economy over the past decade that precipitated the Great Recession, because there was a lack of demand for investment in real wealth-generating opportunities. But Wall Street, not wanting to see its services contract, essentially plowed money into housing, and they turned mortgages into corporate finance, essentially. So the US has a ways to go to catch up to the frontier in innovation competitiveness. It's important that as countries increasingly compete more for innovation-based economic growth, that we structure the global system in such a way to encourage win-win innovation. So when countries are investing in skills, in research and development, in education, to get to the innovation outcomes they desire, this creates positive global spillovers. Unfortunately, we're seeing across the globe competition for innovation that's negative-sum in nature. Policies like forced technology transfer or intellectual property transfer as a condition of market access, standards manipulation, currency manipulation. These types of policies are designed to help one country win in the race for global innovation advantage at the expense of other countries. And it's important that the global community pushes back on these types of policies and encourages win-win global innovation that produces positive outcomes for citizens worldwide.